Hi, welcome back to Tractor Talk with Gary. Once again, we are here with Cletus Kepler in Elkader, Iowa today. He owns Royal Products. He is my local Stihl dealer. Cletus, what have you got on inventory for chainsaws here? It looks like you got quite a few.
We got a little bit of everything. From the small ones at the homeowner sized up to kind of beginning of the mid-sized, and then our mid ones on the middle and our professional ones on the bottom for the real people that want to cut all the time. Yep. The small stuff here, kind of the first three in a row, would be kind of the ones we see a lot of times people haul around utility vehicles, cleaning little fence rows, trimming around the house, that sort of thing. Limbing, yep. Maybe it's the second saw to unpinch the big saw or something. But yep, the 250 ones there, very popular size. Can get an awful lot done with them, but of course not the horsepower of the rest of them in the middle row. Then we get into the guys that are doing the outdoor burner type things where it's a lot of blocking firewood. We kind of start with the 311 and jump up maybe into some of the pro saws on the bottom with that 20-inch bar and 3/8 chain on it. So something that's going to cut a little faster when you're into big materials. But of course, the pro stuff on the bottom, there's some really big advantages to that in weight loss, and then the power and performance in them is just pretty phenomenal. So
are they a lot better quality? Are they built really for a lot heavier duty use? And
long-term use, yes. Yeah, they do have differences in how they are built as far as two bottom halves to the crankcase, the left and the right, versus the homeowners and the small ones have just a cylinder on top and a cap on the bottom type thing. That's usually part of the housing even. So even in repair wise, if worst case scenario you got to do a piston cylinder, you can do it a whole lot faster than you can any of the other style saws. But the big thing is when you're user wise, it's weight loss. Fatigue for an operator is a pound of weight. Shaving of a pound of weight is a big deal in a chainsaw. So
I know I have three Stihls. I have a MS 180. I see they still make that. I have a 250. And I have a 390. 390 is my big boy. They don't make that anymore, do they?
The 390 became a 391, and pretty much anything that had a 0 on the end is now a 1 or further on to a 2 or a 3. And like the 193, the little top-handled saw, they're coming out with a 194 already. So it's the progression of the stuff. But
I cut big stuff, and my 390, I've had that a number of years. It's done a good job. Still works good for me. All three of my saws work good. I never used my 250. I either have limbing or I have heavier duty stuff, so I just used the 390 for the heavy stuff.
Yep. The 250 is a very good, very popular saw. Of course, been replaced. They still make it, but the new one is the 251. Little lighter, better anti-vibration, and it is probably one of the biggest features as a user you'll find is it doesn't vibrate in your hands. They went away from a rubber mounted anti-vibration stuff to a steel spring mounted. It's a little more comfortable. So semi-clear fuel tanks on them, so you can see if there's a little liquid in them. The style of piston and stuff in them anymore is more fuel efficient, which makes the EPA happy and all that good stuff. But and of course, you don't have to buy as much fuel, so that's always good.
Worry about fuel in a chainsaw.
Well, they do.
There's a lot of them out here.
There's a lot of them out there. So
there's a lot of interest in firewood cutting, and that's why we're doing this video. There's a lot of people that are really, and there's a lot of comments on Stihl. Stihl's really popular.
They're a family-owned company still, and I think that's part of the reason the quality is what it is. Their name is literally on the piece of equipment, so they want it to mean quality. So we're lucky enough to have them here. They're easy. I don't want to say easy to work on, but they're easier to work on than some of the other manufacturers' stuff we've seen. One of the simple things we really like is you don't have to have every tool in your toolbox out just to work on them. They utilize the same tools on pretty much the string trimmers, the chainsaws, the cement cutoff saws or blowers or the pole saws. They use the same number of tools on all of them, which makes it faster.
Do they still have the no tool needed bars on the
Yep. Our 180 and our 251C, we stock those with that wrenchless bar tightener thing. Which tends to work very well, which they utilize the same thing in the cordless saws now too.
Is it, with the bigger saws, does that not heavy enough to hold up or something? They don't offer it on anything.
I'm not sure. The biggest one that if I remember right, was a 291. They had it on there, and they don't offer that saw anymore with that. So I don't know if it just wasn't very popular or what the deal is. But
that is nice. If you need to tighten your chain up, you just
it is. Yeah, you lose your wrench out in the woods somewhere. So yeah.
Okay.